Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Remote Advancement Center, to the world of magic and miracles. I really hope this live broadcast is working. Wow, it's been a really long time. I don't think I've been here in front of the camera since sometime in November. I think maybe the November 11th or something like that. It's been a crazy couple of months, to say the least. So I find myself here in Nevada City, California, at my mother's house. I was suddenly directed up here when I learned that she had fallen, my just turned 90-year-old mother. And apparently what caused the fall was that she was walking between her two buildings here, and she stepped on one leg. Her femur, her thigh bone fractured, which was incredibly painful. So she twisted and fell, but thank God that's all that was broken. So here I am, coming to you live on this beautiful sunny day. It's been a lot of rain and wind and cold, a little bit of sleet. It's still on the chilly side. It's probably in the 50s, but it's gorgeous and it's calm, which is so lovely. So thank you for joining me here today. I think everyone's with me. It's been so long since I've been here. I don't even know where to begin. I think what stands out the most in recent days is the amount of magic that's happened, even in these circumstances that feel anything but magic. This is a first experience for me. I've never been through something happening to an elderly parent before. I lost my father many years ago, but I wasn't there. So this is a whole new experience. And there's just so many things when someone could take a while to heal from such a fracture. They have to walk with a walker, and stairs are virtually impossible except with very close guidance. So there's a lot of things that needed to be changed and upgraded and updated, and wow, there's a lot to be done here. And she was sent home rather suddenly. So it's been ongoing, and it's still going on, so that we can make my mother as self-sufficient as possible, and have her back on the road to complete independence, which it's pretty cool. She's very strong-willed and determined, and it's pretty phenomenal for a woman at the age of 90. So it looks like that's the direction this is taking. But as you can imagine, or maybe you can't, it's hard to imagine something you've never experienced, but it's interesting, to say the least. So me, having been living in Santa Barbara now for over 11 years, I don't have a lot of resources here. I'm out of touch with the whole scene up here in Nevada City, right next door to Grass Valley, California. So it's been interesting trying to get help and find good people and so on. And the story that I just have to share, I haven't really shared with many people, is what happened early on. I was really, really needing help, like someone who could maybe do a little construction project, or just a man who could help with things that needed doing here. And one afternoon, my mother was still in the rehabilitation center where she was for several weeks. And I was taking a trip to a local drugstore to find something she needed. And there were probably 3 I could have gone to, and I randomly, you just turn when your signal says, okay, turn here, go there. It was pretty random how I walked into this Rite Aid in Grass Valley. And I asked the woman, one of the women at the front of the store, what I needed help finding. And she was lovely. She just came immediately out from behind the counter and walked me all the way back to the back of the store. And as we're walking, I was just sharing a little bit about what was happening, why I was looking for this particular thing, what had just happened to my mother, etc. And I don't know how the conversation went, but it's pure magic. This woman said to me at one moment in our conversation, maybe she became aware that I was going to be needing help with making the house more accessible for her. I don't really remember those details, but all of a sudden she gets this big smile on her face. She's so excited. She says, oh my gosh, I have the perfect person for you. He is amazing. He just built us our 5,200 square foot house up here. It's my dream home. I mean, it wasn't just that. She was going on about the person, how fantastic he is. So of course, on the spot, she gives me his phone number. She's texting her husband to tell him that, this is going on. So she says, don't wait. When you get in your car, just call him. So I did. I got in the car and I called this person and he answered. There's no voicemail. And I proceeded to tell him what was happening and some things I might be needing help with. See, it's going to happen again. This person, well, I guess there were a couple of them, but he felt like my angel. He was my angel. He not only did he listen and say, yes, he could help me, but he listened from a profound place of understanding that I would not truly discover the details of until later. But the experience of what I felt was absolutely beyond words. That's why I'm leaking. That's what happens when we have just an incredible experience that you can't describe. It tends to come out through water from the eyes. So this man has been helping me ever since. He's only been here a few times, but the things he's done here are big. We're not finished yet. The things he did for the first couple of days, I can't even remember, things that maybe you get I don't know, maybe not somebody quite his caliber of work, what he does, maybe someone who's more of a helper might do for you, but he spent 2 days here helping me to start. And when I asked him how much I owed him for those 2 days. He said, "Oh no, I'm not charging you for this. This is no. Whatever I do for you in the future, we could talk about, future projects, but I'm no." Yeah, haven't given you his name. I wish I could share with you what he shared with me, his amazing personal story, which I don't think he shares often. Maybe I'll just leave that for the moment. So then there was another person. There was another gentleman who my mother had just hired, hadn't even had a chance to work with him yet. Another young man from here who helped me finish or continue the project she had started with him, although it was just in words at that point. And we brought to fruition a planting of beautiful plants here. So now that my mother is here, this is week 3, I think, that she's been home. And we can finally get her outside during the day when it's sunny, and she's finally getting to actually appreciate what's been planted here. She's been really enjoying it. And it's not a lot, but it's just enough to put a smile on your face. And hers. And this other young man has been phenomenal, and he's just super helpful as well. So I definitely have our angels here. And as I have spoken about many times in my broadcasts, my love of animals and nature, and it seems to always come up for me. There's one other story I just really want to share with you. So I may have shared this once before. I don't recall right now, but for the last couple of years, up here in this neighborhood of Nevada City, California, they've had a roaming peacock in the neighborhood. So everyone's assuming it must have been someone's pet that either escaped or was released. I guess we'll never know. So I've been coming up to visit my mother here every year forever. So it was probably a Christmas. Well, I don't know. I've been trying to visit more than once a year recently. So one of my recent visits, I had some fun stories to share about this peacock. Well, this visit, there was another one. And again, I'm sharing it with you because I love to share experiences that open my heart. They bring me so much joy and this tremendous feeling of love that is so all-encompassing. It's like the true meaning of love. It's not the love that's been overused, that word that's been overused here on planet Earth for so many years, or misused, or whatever. It's the feeling of being seen and heard and looked after and appreciated. And I don't know, it's these words feel like they're not enough, but I'm just going to share this experience because in this moment of time, it was timely. Let me just say, I was sweeping off the decks here because there are all these big ponderosa pines growing pretty much right next to this house. And a big rainstorm was coming, and there had been a lot of things that had fallen previously. So the decks needed to be, I wanted to give them a quick sweep before the next storm came. And it was also getting dark, and it had been a very long day. And so I was upstairs on the second floor. There's a little deck outside the bedroom where I'm sleeping. And then there's maybe a 25-foot roof that's directly next to the deck where I was sweeping that covers the downstairs deck. So I had just about finished up. I was making quite a bit of noise. And all of a sudden, this peacock. Now, if you've ever been near a very large bird like a peacock that flies in your direction, it is startling if you don't know it's coming. So this peacock gets up on the lower deck where there's a hot tub, and from there he flies up onto the roof, and from there he flies across another, I don't know, 30, 40-foot stretch into another pine tree that's growing further out in the backyard, and that's where he roosts for the evening, with a perfect view of my bedroom. Anyway, it's funny. So I was startled. I let out a little, noise, and he's looking at me. So I get in conversation with him, which is what I do with animals. He's kind of, this how birds do. Their heads are, checking you out, what's happening. And I knew what he was on his way to do, because I've been here long enough this time to figure out that's where he roosts at night often. And that's why he flies up onto the roof flying, so he can just take a direct, pretty much horizontal flight into this very tall tree. And so I was, as I said, I was speaking to him, and saying, okay, I'll just stand here because I know you're about to fly into your tree. And he's looking at me. And then I said, all right, 1, 2, 3, go. And I did a motion, and on go, he flew into the tree. It was absolutely hysterical. It was like this peacock was listening to me, heard me, and right on cue took off into the tree for the night. So I don't know if this story, if it translates, if you can imagine the experience of that. It just brought me a laugh and a smile and joy, and that I can't describe. So I hope you got a little piece of that, because it was really wonderful. So anyway, as I've come to realize in this life, this really strange human existence here on planet Earth, it's always been a little bit strange for me. I've never quite felt like I was from here. Just the different things. I think what has puzzled me the most over the years is just these human interaction with other humans. There's been a lot that just I've never understood. But one of the things I've come to learn after living through a couple of pretty scary disasters down in Montecito in Santa Barbara County several years ago, living through the Thomas Fire, living through the mudslides that took place in that tiny little town exactly 1 month later. And then this situation. You don't realize it, but no other human will really understand what you've been through unless they've been through it themselves. And there was one day when I was visiting my mother in the rehab facility. It was the day she was leaving. It was the day they were signing her out. And the young woman that was doing that process with us just turned to me at one point and acknowledged me, and in a way that no one up until that moment had, about all that I had been doing for my mother, and someone just who knew what it was like, everything you have to go through. And again, I got tears in my eyes and just this enormous feeling of love and support. There's just nothing like being seen and heard and felt. And that's it. It's like that one tiny little interaction can just change someone's whole life. So I don't know if any of this has done that for any of you watching, but I hope you've maybe received something of value from this presentation today. I shared what came to me to share. I had no plans about what I was going to talk about today. Still feeling a little bit shaky about even being here in front of this camera. So I just want to say to all of you who are here today and may be watching in the future, thank you so much for joining me in just another beautiful interaction of beings of light and love that we truly are, as we navigate through this really funny time on Earth that is actually the greatest time on Earth ever. I feel so happy to be here at this time. It's a really special time, regardless of circumstances, the way things may look or seem. This amazing advancement center, the one who started it all, Robert Young, and his beloved twin Simeon, created this platform for all of us, keeps pushing us forward to become and to be the great beings that we are, and to get to this point where we can be free to be us. Each one of us, unique, beautiful. And I just feel so happy to have found and come together with this beautiful Advancement Center family. So I try to put below every single one of our broadcasts, whether they're something that we're re-airing, like Simeon broadcasts, we have been re-airing from the past every Wednesday at noon for quite a while now. And then we've got, that's on Wednesdays after my live broadcast, David Best's live broadcast on Friday. Then at Saturday morning, I put out a random selection, again, Robert's idea, of one of our broadcasts from the past. I just randomly, like the roulette wheel, I'm just randomly selecting something that shows up. And Adrienne Ertz joins us on Saturdays at noon live. And then Barbara Young, Robert's wife, joins us on Sundays at noon live. And then David Best again, Mondays at noon live. And below on this YouTube video that you're watching now, and every single one that I put out every week has the links to subscribe to our mailing list, so you can receive these beautiful invitations that go out every week with usually has some excerpt of a Simeon or Robert or one of our broadcasts, and the way to easily access these, to watch these. And then we have the contribute button, because we receive no money for any of this. And it's really lovely to have help to pay the bills, since we're doing all of this free. There's quite a bit of time and effort and love that goes into this. But it's an honor and a pleasure. And welcome to this beautiful new year, 2025, that is going down in history as the most incredible year for anyone from anywhere to be here on planet Earth, especially. Actually, this will affect the universe, the world beyond worlds. And I just got a really great smile from our Creator. Very, very happy about what's happening right now and forward. So thank you again for joining me as I send off to each and every one of you the most perfect life, perfect health, and magic future that you can ever imagine was possible. Have a beautiful day. I am Genya.